Well, hello there. I haven't talked to you for a while. Now I'm having a cup of lightly roasted coffee from my little V60 that was presented to me by my colleagues at work. And I decided to give you an update of how things are with my projects and how the modified headlamps are. So yeah, basically the xenon headlamps, I drive with them for I think almost a year from the last video. They are doing quite okay. The few drawbacks that they have are the lenses are not orange peeled, so to say, which gives this sharp cutoff line, which in essence is really cumbersome when driving at night. It gives you that strobe effect when the road is uneven, and yeah, everything goes from bright to dark within short movements. And also I have a soft spot for a warmer tint of light, so maybe that's the aspect that doesn't satisfy me too much, but otherwise they're quite okay. Here's the H18 headlamp with the AL projector. The Hella xenon ones are still in the car. They even passed inspection. They hold up pretty well. There are no signs towards their disintegration or that the xenon ballast bracket seems to be not sturdy, anything like that. So I believe that there's no water ingress to the headlamps or anything like that. So I'm pretty satisfied with how it turned out. In the meantime, I did some interior stuff. I managed to swap out all the interior lamps to LEDs. The most tricky ones were the W 1.2 watt bulbs, the tiny ones, which were hard to find in 4000 Kelvin color temperature, just like these Hella ones. So what I did was order some LED replacements for those W 1.2 watt bulbs from AliExpress. They had a warmer tint than 4000 Kelvin, maybe 3000, something like that. And so what I did was I unsoldered the chips from the tiny PCBs and looked on the internet for suitable 4000 Kelvin ones. Once I found them, I can even show you one of those tiny. That's the one that came off the board. I found them in a reasonable price. Of course, I could order them from like Mouser or a shop like that, but I found an LED tape that I could take the LEDs off from it, and then I resoldered them, and I got a almost perfect match with the color temperature for those tiny bulbs. Those tiny bulbs are in the sun visor lights. The rest of the bulbs I swapped out to Philips something, I don't remember the name, but all of them now are 4000 Kelvin in the interior, apart from the trunk, where I have to think of a neat way to implement a load resistor. And these are some test bulbs that I bought because I was missing one of the W5W bulbs, so I wanted to try something different, something a little bit cheaper and not made in China. So I found those Hella ones. They are not as good as the Philips ones, although these have the full bridge rectifier inside them, so you can plug them either way. With the Philips ones you have to bear in mind the polarity, but these are made in Korea, as it turns out. So that was the thing that appealed to me. 4000K, of course, serves as the glove box light for now. This was a different one. I thought of using it as the trunk light, but the light output is far from desired compared to the Philips one, made in South Korea too. And yeah, that was the interior stuff. Also, the problem with this one was that the length of this festoon bulb was 41 millimeters, and the correct one for my car is 42. I know it's a minor difference, but it means a lot. Okay, this is the lamp, but that's not the topic I wanted to discuss today. So I decided to visit a Toyota dealer some time ago, and there was this new Highlander up for sale. I went inside and I was looking around the interior, and something struck me, you know. Here's the picture of the interior. I'm not sure whether it's clearly visible. It's the steering wheel and the console. And here, what I noticed is when I zoom in here, there is this lamp adjuster, and I thought to myself, hey, doesn't this car have LED headlamps? Because you may remember that back in the headlamp regulatory talk video, for LEDs, no matter the light output or the luminous flux of the light source, you have to have automatic leveling for the lamp. And I just wondered whether this car really has LEDs. And I went outside, I looked at the spec list, and it really does. So, was I wrong with what I told you in the video? I started browsing the standards once again, and what I found out that the one that I told you about, the one that says explicitly that with respect to vertical inclination, the provisions of paragraph 62622 that say about manual vertical beam adjustment above shall not be applied for dip beam headlamps with LED modules producing the principal dip beam, or with a light source producing the principal dip beam and having an objective luminous flux which exceeds 2000 lumens. This document, this very one that I cited back then, I had a look on it, and this one comes from October 16th, 2014. And I started digging the topic, whether is it already legal to have LED sources and with manual leveling. So I did a few checks, and as it turned out, I was referring to this old document, but in the meantime there was a newer one. There was a revision of that document. This document comes from January 16th, 2019, as it turns out. And now this paragraph, which I was quoting before, says that with respect to vertical inclination, the provisions of paragraph 62622 above shall not be applied for dip beam headlamps with a light source or LED modules producing the principal dip beam and having an objective luminous flux which exceeds 2000 lumens. So what changed is that they included this LED modules part to this B part of the former regulation. Now this means that if your LED light source produces less than or equal to 2000 lumens, its light flux is not greater than 2000 lumens, this means that you can have manual leveling. And this changes the whole thing for my projects. Knowing that this is already in place, I can think of some LED projectors to be installed to my lamps and to further continue the headlamp workshop. Now the tricky part is to find an LED projector that really has the light source limited to 2000 lumens of light flux. This of course can be measured with an integrating sphere, if I had access to one. Of course, if it exceeds, then the driver should be somehow tweaked to limit the current flowing through the LED, and in turn limiting the luminous flux. or finding a projector out of an existing car that has manual leveling. For example, at Toyota, they have those Koito LED projectors that are homologated, and they have orange peel condenser lenses. Or I can think of installing a standalone LED module that is not necessarily a projector module, but a reflector module. LED module, of course. For example, the Hella 90mm or equivalent module that is full LED, and place it inside the chamber. Somehow I'd have to figure it out. But what I wanted to really say that I was wrong with my previous video, and I wanted to compensate for that. So hopefully you'll be informed better when you watch my videos. So for today, nothing too technical, but hopefully it gives you a better overview of the regulation. Okay, so thanks a lot for that, and see you in the next one when I finally find a solution and start implementing it to my existing headlamps. Bye bye.